closer out of the dark and sit around my campfire, why not? My name is of no great importance, but the stories I have to tell you are. Witness 4 lost souls journeying together through a grim world of perilous adventure. Be warned, though, these stories are not for the faint-hearted, and once you have heard them, you cannot unheard them. Bear witness to the Vagabond Chronicles. Holy shit.
Dead are walking out tonight, all marched together. Oh, God, to snuff out the lights. 50,000 spells an hour. That goes pushing overload. This beast is ready to devour all the people they can hold. What's gonna explode? Broken by the load. It's your one-way ticket to midnight. Caught it, scary metal, hide behind, thinking just right. Caught it, scary metal, desperation of failed dice. Caught it, scary metal noise. Cocktails and fear musk. Queens riding on the razor's edge. Blue holes open against the boys. Teddy runs to the ledge. Oh, can't feel magic. But his little spells been made. We've got fucking addicts who tear them down by the cage. To reach the base, can you feel the rage? It's your one-way ticket to midnight. Caught it, scary metal, hiding, think just right. Caught it, scary metal, desperation on a failed dice. Caught it, scary metal noise. It's your one-way ticket to midnight. Caught it, scary metal, hiding, feeling just right. Caught it, scary metal, desperation on failed dice. Caught it, scary metal noise. Scary metal noise. Scary metal noise. Scary metal.
mean, come on! It's been years! It's been 89 years! Why won't you finish this bloody campaign? It's too exciting! Holy shit! I know! We're still here! On this campaign! Fuck me! Hi folks! Hi everybody! How you all doing?
Hi,
Good.
morning.
Hi.
Hi Vagabonds! Good morning! Good morning! Good morning to the Antipodean. How are you, sir? How are you, Blue? How are you, Tom? How are you, Clem? And how are you,
Good.
Chad?
Hi, chat. Hi, everybody.
Hi everybody!
Hello,
Welcome.
everyone. I'm fine.
Welcome to the sleepy, quiet, narrative-driven story that is the Vagabonds. Only it's not. It's going to be a fucking mayhem. We may even lose like half the team. Here's hoping. I said that out loud. I meant to be an intern.
Did everyone else think that this episode is called No Tomorrow?
Oh dear.
That's just purely coincidental, my friend. Very quickly, just out of interest, we had on the last Discord server all of the character sheets, and I can't remember if we uploaded them this time. If we didn't, if you want to share them, if anybody has them, please go to the Discord and share them for anybody new. Pick a channel, I guess. Just because obviously we're in the game, so we can't do that right now, folks. But it would be kind of cool for anybody new to the game or the community or the chat that would like to see the PDFs. If anybody does have the PDFs of the characters, like Ratty, Teddy, Bondo, even, and even Ziggy, although he's an NPC right now, that'd be really cool if you want to share them, because that'd be really nice for everybody to have a quick look at the kind of characters and the stats and stuff like that. I know we talk about stats and stuff, but we don't ever usually show them. So if anybody does have those, you're most welcome to upload them to the Discord for everybody to have a quick look at. And yes, we just had Shannon Films, hey Shannon, our mod for tonight, to put them in the Vagabonds channel. And that'd be great. So yeah, anybody can do that, that'd be fantastic to share them. Alright, so here we are, everybody. Chapter 36, feeling frisky. We've been going for almost a year and a half. Oh, it's been a year and a half now, hasn't it? Almost 2 years. Is it 2 years or 1 year? It's all blended into one. How long have we been doing this shit for?
3 years.
It's like, I'm gonna say
August
It was
2020.
like-
before COVID, wasn't it?
This is
18 months.
This is a COVID baby. We are a COVID baby.
Yeah.
This is definitely a COVID baby.
Pretty sure it was August 2020 we started.
August 2020, holy shit. So it's almost coming up to our 2 year. Well, no, it's not almost coming up, it's 4 months away. But still, the point is, it's getting pretty close to us doing this for quite some time. I do hope on my deathbed, when I remember the pandemic fondly, I won't just remember starting up a Discord, starting up a Twitch stream. I'll actually remember something beyond that. But I think it's also a good memory to have on my deathbed. Oh yeah, that time I did a Twitch thing. Do you know what I mean?
For 2 years.
For 2 years. It's been 89 years. Cool, folks. Right, so without further ado, we're going to quickly go around the room, see who is here, whom is playing whom, and get into the action, because there's a lot to do, folks. And we want to be able to, we want them to die with dignity, don't we? All right, so...
Cheers.
Actually, sorry, you're right. Let's do introductions, but there's a couple of quick announcements that we want to make as well.
Groovy.
If that's all right, Neil.
Yes, man. Oh, absolutely. Okay, folks. So, starting around the room, let's start with the highest initiative, which is up for grabs, I believe, between a very small, hairy gentleman.
The hairy boy has
I've
increased.
been dethroned. I have been dethroned.
You've been dethroned? That sucks. Oh, man. Really? Is that official?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the
Gotta
quick
put my-
one.
Yeah,
Right.
he has got slightly higher initiative.
Are you putting your
No,
very
much-
hairy little foot down and saying that you are now the fastest quick-witted creature in the game?
with the XP we had after the Teddy adventures, I put
Oh,
my
yes.
initiative up to 83.
You fucking sack of
What?
shit. Have you got luck as well, the skill? Because that would suck.
No, I'm not lucky.
You haven't got it. Great. Fantastic.
That is so ludicrous.
Okay. So
It flies out of the air. That's insane.
So without further ado, let's go to our small, rotund, tactically challenged halfling thief by the name of Teddy Wheatpasture.
Coward. Is that a nice way of saying coward?
It's absolutely a nice euphemism for coward. This is Pete.
Yeah.
Hi, Pete. How you doing? And who the fuck are you?
I thought you were talking about me there, where you said hairy, fat, and rotund. You know, it's a bit like.
Oh,
You know the thing is,
wow.
you know the thing is, my friend. We've seen each other on chat many times. 'Cause obviously, you and I have been friends since we were like 14, but I haven't physically hugged you for a good decade because you've been in fucking Australia for a long time.
2016 when they came back.
Oh my god. Okay, well, it's not quite a decade then. So yeah, that was the last time you and I had a cuddle.
Yes, it was. I remember it well.
Oh.
Hello, by the way, I'm Pete. I live in Australia. I'm playing Teddy Wheatpasture, the coward halfling who somehow finds himself in these stupid adventures, and yes, is in real seriously pant-wetting, shitting mode right now, surrounded by an army of undead.
Pant-wetting time. So you're turned on and also terrified at the same time.
Yes.
Great. It's a really weird combination of things there, dude. But okay.
There are a lot of bones floating around.
It's also early in the morning.
Sorry.
Okay. So, cool. Thank you very much. You are our thief extraordinaire, sort of.
Yeah, I'm also a thief. Yeah,
You're
not
also
just
a
a
thief.
coward.
Yeah, great. You're a cowardly thief or a thiefly coward, one of the two. Great. Next up is our elf, definitely not on the shelf, who was the quick-witters, but is definitely one of the coolest vagabonds. The elf archer Del, played by Blue.
Yes, hello, I'm Blue. I play Delamira, also known as Del. Like Neil said, I play a wood elf archer, and I have a war dog named Fleck, who is my very best friend.
And possible reason for destroying the entire planet should anything harm befell it.
Should anything happen, I will burn this party to the ground.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can offer you different alternative ways to burn parts of the ground without the dog dying, in fact, if that's of interest.
Don't even look at the dog. Just don't even
look.
Don't even touch the dog.
No touchy. No
move
touchy.
away from the dog. Move away from the dog. All right. So without that uncomfortable silence, let's move on to Rattigan. Rattigan. Was it? It's Elias P. Rattigan. The P stands for P.
Elias P. Radigan. He doesn't speak like that at all, it makes no sense why I said that. Hello everybody, my name's Tom. I play Rattigan, who is a hedge wizard, a wizard from a hedge. And in the way that hedges have many different things in them, they have different plants, different animals. Rattigan has got different spells, and he's also got ferrets in him. Do they live in hedges? Maybe. Probably not, but I don't know. Let's say they do.
You've got a nice spangly new robe, which is a proper wizard's robe for a change. It's actually a wizard's robe of toughness, I believe.
Of toughness.
Yes.
Yes. I've got some cool knickknacks now. I've got a chicken for a hat. I've got. There's a story there, folks. Let me tell you. I've got a.
Oh my god, I forgot about the chicken.
It's still on his model. It's still on the model. I'm going to flash into the thing.
Frankly, the chicken hat, the living chicken hat, is frankly an abomination. And
I'm actually going to go into the game. I'm going to show you the chicken hat. He's still wearing it as a hat. It's brilliant. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, in the game, Neil has still balanced a chicken on my head.
Precariously
That's how
on the
chicken
flame.
hat.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
I also have this cool javelin thing that sort of is kind of like, it's sort of, I can throw it out and then recall it, a little bit like the cool sort of dart that Blue Dude has in Guardians of the Galaxy. His name has just flown out of my head.
Yondu or Yondu. Yondu, yeah.
Yeah, Yondu has this cool whistly dart, and I have something similar at the moment, which is nice. And I have a magic robe of toughness as well, also nice.
Which is cool.
Thanks, DM. You're a very generous chap.
I was being pretty generous.
That's me.
Yeah, that's you.
That's me. over to you, Climothy.
So Climothy, Clim to his friends, has the last but not least vagabond of our party at the moment, currently, and that is this little dude over here. Look at that character. Look at that. Oh, and also loving the new. This is that's Wavy Davy, by the way. Look at that. Isn't that brilliant? I love the pots of gold at his feet. Sorry, thank you very much for everybody that's been chipping in for these. This is our last character, who is at first glance hideously deformed, crippled, bent over backwards, really smooth skin human that actually is in fact a ex-Storm Vermin Skaven turned follower of the Lady religion, which is a Bretonnian Knights of the Holy Grail kind of affair. And that is Quint, played by Clim. Hi, Clim.
Oh, how are you?
I'm okay.
Okay,
I'm going to get a drink, actually, so carry on.
Okay. Well, I play Quint, who is, he's very, very badly physically and emotionally damaged Ratman. He thinks himself a knight. Well, he wants to be a knight. He probably is never going to be a knight, but he tries anyway. He has a slight obsession with the elf, but nothing weird. Just a case of he thinks she's a goddess. Take that as you will. So, effectively, what he is he joined this party after they came down from the mountains via the waterfall. And, he's tagged along, really. And hopefully he'll survive this thing.
Skills.
Isn't he?
Any what?
So, Clem, isn't he tailing the party?
Well,
Oh,
he
come
can't. He doesn't have one.
Dude, I just got a drink, man. I didn't even have half your conversation.
Bada-ching.
Okay.
I needed to talk
So that's, in a nutshell, my character.
Groovy.
So it's Quint, our frontline fighter character. For lack of a better
Frontline
word.
what?
You're sort of
Well,
you're the tanky type character.
Well,
I am very much not a tank.
He's not
I'm
a
working
tank
on
in the
it.
slightest. He's a pussy willow. You know, he's sort of like gets one knock and he sort of knocks over. You know, he's a bit,
Lord.
yeah, he's not very good. He's not very strong. I mean, he's very strong, but he's not very.
What he
tough.
doesn't have in what he doesn't have in strength, he makes up for in sheer gut determination, which doesn't really count in this game. But you never know.
Gonna do fuck all for you, mate. But I'm glad that you have that kind of moxie about you. All right, folks. So let's dive back into the game very quickly. For
Announcements. Quick announcements. Firstly, just wanted to remind everyone that we have an Instagram and a Twitter, and I think they are both at Vagabond Chronic. We share fan art, lots of lovely fan art. Whenever you guys share it with us on the Discord, we love it when you do that, and we put it up on the Instagram and try and share it on Twitter too. So there's that, and so follow us at Vagabond Chronic. I think it's for both of them, but otherwise just search Vagabond Chronicles on Twitter and Instagram, and you'll find us. Clim, you had a shout out to someone, didn't you?
Yes, I did, and it was just a very quick one. I just want to thank Poppy for her picture of Gary the Brain, which is absolutely fantastic, and I'm very sorry
drew my
I couldn't,
dad. Somebody drew my dad.
Yes, she did.
Amazing.
That is currently sitting on the Discord forums,
Amazing.
so another good reason to go over there. And if you go into the Vagabond section,
it's also on the Instagram as well.
Excellent. But thank you very much for doing that, Poppy. That's great of you.
Cool.
Indeed.
With that bombshell, I hope they got his good side. With that bombshell, we're going to dive straight. Unless there's any other announcements, we're going to dive straight into the game, folks. So that's cool. Because it's a little complicated. Let's go. All right. So, just a quick reminder, folks. Frugal Valley, which is centered between the Bretonnian Peninsula or something, the country Bretonnia, and also the Empire, which is over here, but it's a bit further north. It's sort of like the Grey Mountains-y over here-ish, near a place called Grenier, which is where Pete came from to rejoin the lads. This is La Maison Tal, which is a holy site, the god Tal, which sits in the valley. Our heroes have been here for a number of weeks. They discovered a undead army headed by Heinrich Kemmler, who's back from the dead, a Lichemaster, who is hell-bent on destroying La Maison Tal in revenge for an atrocity that had occurred to him about 100 years ago or so. And Jean-Louis, the current monk, who was but a initiate during this particular tragedy, I think it's about 60 years actually, has enlisted our heroes once again to help with the defense with a ragtag bunch of survivors from the outskirting areas to stop and halt and thwart the Lichemaster and his something poetic army stuff. Wow, I really ran out of words there. So very quickly, I ran out of description. I don't know. I was heading for something. I got distracted by something else. Realised I was supposed to be doing another thing.
Monstrous army of the undead.
There you go. Thank you very much, Tom, for the reach. I appreciate it. So this is sort of very roughly this waterfall they came over. This is a plain above it, which is miles and miles and miles, not scale. And here they are surrounded by forest. These are the maps of the area. So this is actually La Maison Tal itself. There is a long, massive palisade, not particularly effective, but effective enough against wild animals and such. That has the village that surrounds La Maison Tal. There's the sort of storerooms and blacksmith, and there are other there's stables over here where actually our war penguins are situated. If you remember what the fuck those things are. There's a blacksmith, and then inside here we have La Maison Tal itself, which is inside another ring-fenced palisade, which is this building here in the shape of kind of a funky hammer thing looking. Our current our players are currently with Jean-Louis. They have been making their plans. They've been sort of like talking to the various heads. We have the dwarves who made the trip down. There's only 5 of them left from the original tribe of 50, which is rather sad. These guys are dead as a dodo. We also have the survivors from the family, the Wissenbergs, who are quite capable ex-army soldiers and healers and such. And we also have the villagers and also the monks. So not exactly on paper looking like they're going to have much chance of surviving this. Yay. But they also do have pluck, and they also have a dog called Fleck, which is always very cool. And they also have this thing over here, which is an Iron Man construct, which they're trying to figure out how to make work. So last time we saw you, you'd conflabbed with Jean-Louis. You'd also then decided you've got 24 hours to make plans and to talk to the various heads of these different kind of factions that are now forced together into La Maison Tal to erect some kind of defensive stand and try to at least either defeat Heinrich Kemmler or wait until there is potentially aid coming from Grenier in the form of perhaps some patrols and stuff, as messages have been sent out as fast as they can down the river in boats to try and get to Grenier in time to then come back with reinforcements. But that could take up to a week or so, so whether or not you're going to survive that long, who knows. I guess it's over to you folks, because last we saw we were going to do some XP gain, and I gave you all about 300 or something like that, XP or 350, and we've been discussing throughout the week what you want to do. So shall we go around the room and just very quickly tell, you don't have to tell me again, it's more about telling the audience what you've taken and sort of where you're at, and then we can get into the plans that you may have, and we can sort of do a bit of role play with the various factions, and you can talk to whomever it is you want. Yep.
Cool.
Clem says alone. Just Clem.
Should we do it again initiative order, like, because Pete
okay,
also had more most advances as well, because he went off and had a different adventure while we were doing our things.
Greedy little halfling. Greedy little XP halfling. All right, so Pete, just talk us through very quickly. You got 300 experience points plus anything else. You actually slightly more than that, I guess. So why don't you tell us what you spent your XP on and where you're at right now?
Yeah.
And maybe
500.
Maybe what wig you're wearing currently.
What?
I had this idea.
I didn't realise that Eddie wore a wig. What?
Well, maybe he does. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. You can't substantiate this. I said allegedly. Well, I'm saying allegedly now.
Fine, I have a long blonde wig on.
There you go.
And I am shaping into something pretty.
All right. So
sexy.
I also took an increase in... Exactly right. Increase in ballistic skill, so I'm now at 57.
Okay.
An increase in initiative. An increase in dexterity, so that's now at 53. I took pick lock again, because that's one of the skills that you can take more than once.
And you're so bad at it. You're so terrible at picking locks.
Oh, what? I never knew this.
Yeah, you can double down on some skills. That's true.
You just upgrade it.
Yeah, so I get basically another plus 10 if I choose to pick a lock again.
Oh wow! I honestly never knew you could upgrade skills like that. That's
it's not many, but pick lock is one of them.
All right. Okay.
And finally, I took marksmanship with a sling, which will give me plus 10 again to ballistic skill when I use my sling, but only when I use my sling. So if I was throwing a weapon, for example, or using a bow, I wouldn't get that bonus. It's very specific to each specialist weapon.
Wow.
What I took,
Juicy.
which actually makes me quite, which gives me a 67% to hit now with
You're
with my
quite
save.
a badass now.
We're gonna need it. We're gonna need it.
But again, I'm terrible in hand-to-hand combat. I have no toughness.
Just don't get into hand-to-hand combat.
But they can use you as padding, can't they?
Wow.
Like, we'll just throw you in the way. I mean, you're still useful. Don't sell yourself short there, buddy.
Thanks, Neil.
You're welcome.
You're just
Okay. Cool, that's you, sir. So that's sort of your XP gain. So you've just made yourself ever so slightly more useful.
yes.
Okay. That came off as mean. I didn't mean to say that you were bad or anything.
No. We know Teddy's foibles.
Okay. Okay, that's you done, sir. Blue, if you don't mind, let's go next with what you took as your XP gain and where you're at, and I guess a little bit narrative of why you did that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I upgraded I put Markswoman instead of Marksman.
Absolutely.
Wanted to be more of a fiend with the bow and arrow. I do have a scimitar that went up 1 damage, which is cool.
That's cool.
Ballistic skill, I put 2 into that, so I went from 37 to 67.
Nice.
For my ballistics. And I took 1 more into toughness, so I'm now 3 in toughness.
Yay!
So I'm really just kind of, yeah. Please still have
Very tough for an elf.
That's like crazy tough.
I'm hardy.
You're hardy for an elf. You're like, yeah. Amazing.
You'll no longer get blown over by a gust of wind.
Elves look at you and go, "Wow, that elf is tough." That's amazing. All right,
Working out.
Nice, you're working out.
Yep.
Yeah. What can you press? What can you press? They do shit like that. Elves don't do that at all. But wouldn't it be funny if they did? Hey man, can you press? I can press a tree. Shit like that. Can you imagine an elf jock? Doesn't really work, does it? Be an elf jock now, Blue. Your character should become an elf jock. Jelf. Yeah, there you go.
I'm now a linesman. That's
You're a
what
linesman. There you go. Okay. Oh, great. And this is the new advanced career of targeteer, isn't it?
Yes.
So you are a targeteer. So the idea is that you've been doing all these kind of cool shots. You've have the living shit kicked out of you a whole bunch of times. So that's also now why you've taken your toughness increase and all that kind of stuff, which is based on the career. And you're just a little more like scarred and battle worn and just ready to rumble really more than anything else, which is cool. Oh, have you described what your marksman skill does? Because you have a marksman skill.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm going to get it wrong.
No, it's okay. I can describe it. So
if you can describe it, that'd be great.
Sure. So marksman is basically like fancy shooting. It's basically you can call shots now. So if like somebody is like flipping you the bird, you could say I want to shoot his middle finger off with an arrow, and you could call it, and there's no modifier to that. It's just straight ballistic skill roll. But you can now like literally like target aim, kind of like Sniper Elite that Tom and I was playing the other day. You can do testicle shots. Basically, you can do testicle shots. So you can do called testicle shots.
I'm gonna. You know what? Let's just funsies. We'll do it one time. I'm gonna try it one time.
All right. Okay, there you go. So that's.
Can I suggest the?
Unfortunately,
you and Tom do this weird. I love the fact that you and Tom have this like very British succinct dance you do. When one interrupts, both you stop. You both pause for exactly the same amount of time and start again. It's like two British people at a door. It's opposite sides of a door. It's brilliant. It's like
Tom.
Okay.
Please.
Go on.
Tom, please go first.
Yeah, Tom, please go first. All right.
As I was saying, unfortunately, we are fighting skeletons. And mostly, skeletons no longer have testicles.
They don't have knackers,
so it's going to be hard to do nut shots on them.
No, but wouldn't it be interesting if you roleplay that as a discovery? Why don't we do that? Okay, so moving forwards on, moving very quickly onwards, folks, because time is against us.
If these skeletons did have testicles,
maybe they do. Well, let's find out. Let's find out in the game.
That would be surprising.
So moving on, we have, I guess next is therefore Tom. Tom, tell us about what upgrades you're taking for your character.
I'm taking some boring stat increases because I need to, you have to, one of the rules of Warhammer, as I remember it, is you have to take all of your stat increases before you can sort of basically level up to the next power level of of being a hedge wizard. So I'm taking a +10 to fellowship, so that I'm now more friendly. Which is, Ratty already kind of a friendly guy. Although his stats don't reflect that.
His stats reflect the fact that he's socially awkward. Not that he's not friendly. He's really nice and friendly. He's just really difficult to understand sometimes.
He's a bumpkin. I know. I get it. He also so I'm also taking another +1 to wounds. So it takes my wounds to 9.
Wow.
I mean, I got a lot of wounds.
Yeah.
But I need them because, falling in a pit apparently nearly kills you. It's the
worst way to die, isn't it? All right.
And then finally, a little skill that I sort of... So basically, recently we've been going into crypts and encountering magical items and things, Neil.
Yeah.
There's been that. Bratty has noticed in the last, few days that whenever he's close to a magical item, the weird birthmark that resembles the symbol for the god of Tal, the nature god, that is on his butt, begins to tingle and glow slightly. He just notices there's a slight tingling in his butt. On his butt, I should say. Whenever he is near a magical item. So through that, he has learnt the skill sense magic. Is it sense magic or magical sense? I can never remember.
Magic sense.
Magic sense. So basically, he can now figure out when something he is around is magical. And it also kind of allows you to figure out roughly what it does. Is that correct? Or no?
Yeah, kind of. You don't identify necessarily the powers, but it makes you aware that this thing is magical and that you could probably sort of glean what it could do. It doesn't give you absolute definite description of everything it does. It's like trial and error. But you would know if something's something offensive or defensive, something basic like that. That's cool. Yeah, you could do that.
Got it. Nice. That's me. That was I've got 50 points left. Which are just going in my little XP bank.
Nice. And lastly but not leastly, Quint. How are you doing there, sir? And what are you taking? Yeah.
I am, because I'm going to get a wiggle on because we've got to keep going. I'm taking a +1 to toughness.
Yep.
Because he's slowly getting better after being burned on a stick.
What's your toughness now?
I'm changing my...
What's your toughness now?
My toughness is...
What's your toughness?
You're going to love this. My toughness is now 2.
He's going to die.
You're left. Wow.
I'm
the microphone on, so I thought I muted myself.
Right. Had a toughness of 1?
A stiff breeze will knock him over.
I got cut. Look, you walk through a fire and see if you're looking healthy,
Yeah, Tom, I didn't tell you this.
Doing my best what I got.
Klim's been playing with a toughness of 1 out of a maximum of 10. He's been playing with 1. It's amazing he survived this long. He doesn't even have that many fate points.
I feel so bad.
Amazing.
Oh no.
Has everybody finished?
Yes.
Can I continue?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm also changing my career to bodyguard.
Changing your career to bodyguard. Okay.
Yes.
So talk us through that very quickly, and then we're going to get into the game properly.
Okay, cool. Right. Well, my rationale for it is that since getting out of the cave behind the waterfall, he's followed these people around. He's leapt into all the fights whenever asked of him, like a bold knight does.
Yes.
And generally, he's done something. He's done pretty much the role of a bodyguard since meeting up with the Vagabond. So it seems logical. So I thought I'll get away with it.
Nice.
I thought I'd get away with it.
I think it's
tank.
Fair.
It is
fair.
Role.
Yeah, it's fair. So here's the thing: you don't get any of the skills for your new career. You have to find people to teach you and learn them, or you learn them by yourself.
Okay, cool.
So that's how that works.
Cool.
So you can look at the skills you need to then change career after that, and that's how you go about doing that. All right, folks.
Cool.
So let's go into it. I think the first thing is that you've all left Jean-Louis' office. Wavy Davy in his awesome new figure model, which is just awesome, is there. And you are now sort of free narratively, folks. I guess collectively or one by one or whatever, to sort of work out what you're going to do the next 24 hours. I mean, the main thing I think first is really like shopping. I think that's the kind of, I think that's where the easiest thing to do, shopping, resting, and that kind of stuff. And if there's anything specific you want to do in terms of talking to anybody, that probably would also help as well. So it's up to you lot how you want to do this. This is your party, your moment. Why don't you say what you want to do first and how you want to go about it? And we don't need to role play the shopping stuff. It's basically going to be, most things are going to be given to you for free. Some things you may have to part with money. And if you have any ideas of what you want, just sort of one by one go through it, and I'll be either a nice games master or a nasty games master, depending on how I feel.
Basically, I'm going to be the one to prep the teddy.
No, I'm just practicing. I'm sorry. Carry on, Peter.
Get right.
Carry on, Peter.
Do the teddy special cooking to give everyone a hearty meal.
I forgot you've got that skill. You've got a special hearty meal.
Yeah.
The teddy special.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm going to sort of get all the ingredients and some cooks together and sort of lead and try to give everyone in the camp who's still here
amazing
this heart.
Okay, roll a d6.
That's a +5, isn't it?
I'm gonna work out how much this time, because you may run out of time to do things. So please roll a d6, and that's for Peter alone.
It's here.
Oh, my computer's a bit slow. Sorry, folks.
Oh, mine's terrible. 3.
3. Okay, that's going to take you 3 hours to. That's going to take you 3 hours to organise and cook, and then it's going to take another hour for them to cook the quantities of what you want to be ready enough. So that's going to take about 4 hours. So that's like 3 hours of your time. I'm just going to put a little counter for each person just to make sure that you're not sort of taking too much of the piss. So let's say 4 hours for you to sort of do all of that. Okay.
And we've got how much? 24? Is that what you're saying?
About roughly 24 hours, including sleeping, I would say.
Right.
Okay, so that's and what else are you going to do, sir? Just go one by one. It's going to be easier. So what else do you want to do, Teddy?
And I was also going to prep an escape route, so make sure the wagons are hitched and that we're ready to make a bolt for it if we need to.
All right, so roll a d4, please.
D4.
Yeah, that's going to source like an escape route wagon thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's one here, sir.
Over here. Thanks. I got that.
That is a 4. It took you it took you as long as cooking to find a coach and stash loads of supplies in it, and then hide it under like a couple of leaves or a bush or something. Throwing like stuff. I don't know, disguising it so people don't get too interested in the coach. But basically, you've got a coach that you can basically join.
To the war penguins, ready to go, sort of thing.
Okay, so here's the question: the war penguins are currently in this stable over here. Are you going to bring them into this area, or are you going to keep them where they are in the stable? Bearing in mind, they look like massive penguins that have got like horse suits on, like a nativity play kind of panto horse suits on. I should point out, they look shit. They're basically sacks.
They've got a great. What you're saying?
They got a great what?
The great disguise.
They got a terrible disguise, and you know it. But you can basically you can leave them in the stables out here and hitch the coach to them, ready to go. No, I'm
going to leave them out there and make sure that everything prepped. And as you say, we've got all our sort of necessary supplies, things we don't need to take with us into battle.
Sure.
And just get all that sorted.
Okay. And what is this called? Operation what?
Operation. I like that. Let's go with that.
Operation. Okay, cool. That's the secret buzzword. If things go tits up, you're going to say Operation. Everybody's going to know what you're talking about. Cool.
And obviously, anything that's not tied down, that Teddy sees, that's sparkly, that's easy to pilfer, he may well do it.
Okay, I'm just going to secretly roll something for no reason whatsoever, but you keep talking, Pete. All right, Pete, so what else do you want to do with your time? That's about 8 or 9 hours so far. Great, fantastic, wonderful. That's unrelated to what I'm doing. So what is it you want to do?
And the rest of the time is trying to understand the mechanical man.
Fine. Okay, so you spend... and are you sleeping? Are you getting any of the supplies or anything else that I need to know about?
No, I don't need any other supplies. The rest sort of take an 8 hours good sleep, and the rest of the time will be understanding with whoever I need to how this mechanical man works, because I'm assuming I'm sort of still in control of it.
Okay, dokie. So I'm assuming that is all of your time. So you spend the. Please make an intelligence test. And that will sort of bring you up. By the way, folks, if you do need to speak to each other, or you do need to add something to somebody, you can do that because obviously you're walking around doing all these things individually, but you're also together. So don't worry if you need to retrofit some of the conversation.
There's also some potions that we got from the Iron Man room.
That's true.
Potions.
Yeah, you did. Yep.
That
I
I'm
completely
going to
forgot.
ask Ratty to try and figure out what the hell they are.
Okay, so you give Ratty half a dozen potions that you found in sort of like a vial bag. And Ratty, you now have half a dozen potions that you have zero idea how to identify, but you have them there.
Yeah, I have no ability to do that at all. I might be able to sense if they're magical, but that's it.
That's a start, right?
Yeah.
I guess so.
I'm assuming we might have a mage actually in this area who might be able to take a look at them. Maybe. What do you think? Is there someone like that?
A herbalist or a mage or someone?
Yeah. Pete, did I miss something? Did you go to the War Penguin?
Yes, I did.
Damn, I was going to do that.
You still can. You still can. You still can.
So in terms of intelligence, 19 is a. Oh no, it's not 19, is it? That's 90. Sorry, that's a fail on the intelligence test.
Okay, cool. So you massively failed that. Right, that's fine. Okay, dokie. So very quickly, Tom, how many magic points maximum do you have roughly? Do you remember, off the top of your head?
I think it's 8.
8. Okay, that's cool. Can you check your could check the Vagabond's messages, by the way? Thank you. That should be. And I've also Clem, I've updated something which is cool, so that should be updatable. I think. Oh, that is actually weird. Yeah, I'll send you a message. Okie dokie. So
okay, cool.
What was I going to say? Who is next? So I guess Blue, you can go next after this.
Cool. I would like to visit a Fletcher.
Yep.
So I can purchase. So I had a quiver, got a better quiver, gave my quiver to Ratty.
Yeah, you did. Like
for
a fool.
the boyos.
Like a fool.
Boyos.
Like a fool.
So I would like to see if I can purchase a secondary quiver, have one on my back and have one on my hip.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
I can have the max. Yeah, to have the maximum amount of arrows, which I believe is 30 arrows a quiver.
Well, the magical quiver holds 30 as well. It's a standard quiver, but yes,
holds 30.
Yeah,
okay.
So you could have 60 quivers. That's really cool. Okay, so do you? By the way, there's a blacksmith here. You could get them to. This is just me being wanting cool Fallout 4 shit, right?
Yeah.
You could get like a kind of. Not a bandolier, but like a bandolier strap that holds on like a harness that basically you put those 2 quivers in, which would just make you look so fucking badass. It's unreal. And then maybe
I'm down.
And then maybe put like a thing. In fact, this is the blacksmith. The blacksmith talks exactly like this. Oh my god, why don't we just do a harness thing with a bandolier thing, and then and that big scimitar we can put in as well. I can make you something that's gonna look fucking cool. And he just gets really excited. Yeah, he's basically a geek.
Yes.
He's basically a blacksmith geek, and he's like all of 17 years old. He's great. Actually, I need a name. Anybody that shows out a name in chat right now, I will take it within reason, as long as it's not defamatory.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So if anybody can look at chat and just give me a name, this is a 17-year-old blacksmith geek. First name that pops out to me. It may not be the first one written, but it'll be the funniest one. So anyway, this 17-year-old.
We gotta wait for chat to catch up.
I know. Wait, catch up, chat. Wake up, chat. All right. So basically, so he's really excited, and obviously this is for free. Because he's trying to. Obviously, the whole village is realised that there's Greg. We've got Greg. I'm going to go with Greg. This is Greg the blacksmith, who's 17 years old. So Greg is a winner. Scooter. Oh, okay. His Greg.
We could have had Scooter.
No. Wait. His name is Greg, but his nickname is Scooter. So he's Greg.
That's very cool.
He's Greg. You don't know what his surname is. He's Greg, but his nickname is Scooter. So he goes.
Is he working on like a medieval version of a scooter?
Yeah, a little bit. So you walk in there and he's sort of like covered in like soot and coal and stuff like that, and he's got oil in his hands, just wiping off. And goes, "Oh, hello. My name's Greg, but everybody calls me Scooter. You're the heroes." He's really dead impressed with you. And he talks like, "I'm dead impressed." So he's really geeky. But he's really willing to help. So he's going to make you a harness which puts 2 quivers on, and also has a place where you can put the scimitar in between them. Kind of like a much better assed version of Legolas. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He says it's going to take like a few
so
hours.
I can hold a. It can hold 60, right? Is that how my max?
Yeah, you got
that I can
2
have?
quivers, one of which is magical, one of which is not. And he says it's
Right.
going to take about 4 hours to make. And he's really quick as well.
Does having 1 quiver in 1 location make drawing faster? Does it make
We
sense?
could
or does
say
is it
you
equal?
could get a it won't change the number you can shoot around, but maybe it'll give you like a +5, let's say. If you start off the round, if you start like going into combat with that, you get a +5 initiative on your order. Maybe. I don't know. Is that complicated? It's overcomplicating it a little bit.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's a nice idea, but no. Sorry. No. There you go.
So the other thing I would like to do if I have Scooter Boy here, would he, or maybe I don't know if this would be a blacksmith or an armorer, is there some kind of war dog? Is there kind of war dog armor I can get for Fleck?
Yeah, he looks.
Any sort of protection on him?
He looks at you and then looks at Fleck and goes, "Oh my god, yeah! Oh my god! Isn't that a Imperial Marineland Alsatian?" You have no idea.
It sure is. Absolutely, Scooter.
Oh, I've got just the thing. He immediately trips over a whole bunch of swords, and he cuts his leg really badly. He goes, "Don't worry, it happens all the time." And he just like tries to patch it up a little bit, like by tying something around his leg, and just hops off. And he comes back after this huge, like his blacksmithery is a madman's cave. It's just full of like crap and shit everywhere. So he comes back, and he's holding this massive metal rig. And he goes, this is actually, and he just goes and blows all this dust off it. He goes, "This is actually an Imperial Marine and Alsatians war armor that I found on a battlefield this one time." And he comes over and he goes, "I'm just going to put this on you." And Fleck immediately goes, like that. He goes, oh, you put on him like that. And you sort of work out that this looks like doggo armor. And it's got a little hat, and it's got little it sort of doesn't cover him from paw to snout. But it fits over his head, and it fits over his ears, and it fits down his back, and it's tied on around his tummy. But it basically gives his body and his head armor, which is pretty cool for a dog. So yeah, you've got this like old rusty, it's slightly rusty, it needs a bit of a clean, but it seems to do the job, and Flex seems to be able to handle it because he's a pretty big dog. But yes, you now have 1 point of armor on his head and body, which he just gives you basically. So your doggo has armor. Man, you weren't kidding. If something happens to this dog, you're going to kill everybody in the party. Just revenge. Wow.
Well, what's the point, Neil? She's going to kill you. She's going to get on a plane.
Oh my God.
Hunt you down.
Gut me like a fish. Okay. Do you want to die tonight? You killed my dog. It wasn't a real dog. Blue. All right, so that's great. So you've got that. Anything else at all, Blue, that you fancy doing?
Yeah, so the last thing, I would like to try and get the 8 hours of full sleep, if possible.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, that's fine.
And then the remainder of my time, I don't know what his plans are, but I will be available to Quint if he needs any assistance in any of his endeavors.
Yeah, sure, okay.
For his setup.
For Quint. Okay, cool, yeah. Groovy. Okay, so you do that. So that's sort of how your day is going. Okay, next up is Tom, if you're ready, sir, and we can go with you.
I mean, my whole idea was the penguins, and Pete fucking got there.
I tell you what, Pete, when you're like strapping the penguins up to the coach, you just hear this as the stable door opens, and Dratty's just sitting there with his arms crossed. Standing there with his arms crossed, leaning against the door, going, "Huh."
Look, we can all play with the penguins.
I've been waiting to get back to the penguins. I've been waiting to get back to these beautiful war penguins for the last, I don't know, 6 months. And you're here for it, you bastard. All right, on you go. And then I'm gonna try and find. I guess I'm gonna go and see if I can find a herbalist amongst the sort of monks to find if one of them can help me identify these what these potions are.
Yeah, okay. So they do point you in front of to one of the monks, who's actually a magic user himself. He's actually a wizard as well as being a monk. Because being a monk is sort of like, you can be a lay. You're basically you're like a lay priest, so you can do other things and still be a priest of Tal. It's kind of cool. And he sort of runs a hand over it and identifies that they're healing potions, and each of them are a strong healing potion which you just hit in one dose. But it'll heal you pretty much from any mortal inflicted state to full health instantly. So these are pretty powerful things. You sort of look and go, where did you get these?
Well, we went in. Oh, I've slipped into the wrong accent there. I sort of nearly turned Rasputin. Well, don't mind if I tell you, Governor.
Okay.
Hang on. I'm gonna get the West Country back. I tell you what, we went. We went into the. We got sent into the crypt, didn't we? Underneath this big old Maison Tall. We went down underneath it, and there they were. I mean, there's a lot of stuff down there. I don't know why you ain't got it out beforehand, but we did.
He looks at you like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. So what's he gonna say back?
He looks at you and goes, you could just say you found them. And he hands you back the vile bag and just walks off. Bloody bumpkins. Basically, you made no sense. You just rambled at him. And he was sort of like looking at you like, what are you talking about? It's mad. And he just hands them back to you and just walks off.
Very good. Yeah. Fair enough.
He also, when you sort of turn and you sort of go, fair enough, and he turns and he actually stops. And he just looks at you from like a sideways glance. And he looks at you really intently. Like something is amiss. And he sort of looks you up and down. And his sort of nose twitch. He's like, he's got a big bushy beard and a flat cap and this like long robe, like a monk's robe. But his nose just twitches, almost like he smells something about you. And then he sort of decides against it and turns back and walks off. But it was definitely a very unsettling look that this guy gave you as he sort of plodded off away from you, having talked to you, Tom. Just FYI.
Interesting. Okay, so I've done that. What else can I do? I mean, I guess I could restock my ingredients, but my ingredients are all pretty... I've chosen spell with pretty simple ingredient, like, requirements, so...
You could rummage through a dumpster and restock your ingredients, Tom.
That's really rude.
Yeah.
Actually, that was a really good quote. All right. Through a dumpster for a while.
Okay.
I looked every so often. I just throw a longing glance at the war penguins. And
it's not even at the war penguins. It's at the barn door with a light that's on it, and you just hear this like and from the war penguins, and Teddy going, "Yeah, it's great to see you too, boys," like that. And you're just looking at it like, ugh, it should be me.
What did we call them? I can't remember.
Dude, rice and cake. Fuck you all, chat.
Oh, that was it. Of course.
Yeah.
After that, of course, I'm gonna go and after I've got my ingredients stocked, I'm gonna go and meditate.
Cool. So you're gonna meditate for your magic points back, and I guess you're just gonna get some good kip after that, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
Alrighty. Okay. Thank you, Tom. That is yours done. And lastly, but never leastly, surprisingly, Quint, lay it on me, buddy, because I kind of got a feeling you've got some stuff in your paws that you want to share with the Vagabonds. What's going on?
Oh, we're going to have a lot of fun here. Okay.
Right. So succinctly,
so first thing we're going to do...
Succinctly, sir.
Can I just say, I just need to jump in here and just say, Clem has been planning tactics for this moment for about the last 4 months, maybe longer.
Because I have no life. Yeah, I know.
I wasn't saying that. I'm just saying you're a very tactical man and you figured out tactics and they're great. So this is going to be cool. All right, take it away, Clem.
Right. First up, I'm going to find the biggest pile of horse dung in this entire place and go directly to it.
I don't even know where
is
to
that
be
one of the
this.
stables?
Yeah, you can go to the stables where these massive fuck-off huge things are that look like horses, but actually they look like really shit horses. And they've got this enormous, like, massive, like, dump area where it's close to the river, actually. It just gets thrown into the river, I guess. And it's just full of what smells like really nasty, heavy manure, but it doesn't smell like horse manure because you've got a reasonably good nose despite the fact it's been burnt off.
Yep.
It smells like something else, like fish manure or something. It's weird. It's really strange. It's a fishy smell, which is bizarre.
Right.
Yeah.
Lots of flies, Neil?
Reasonable amount of flies, yeah.
Excellent, excellent.
I feel like I'm a judge in a court of law going, sustained, overruled. Yep, I'll hear it out. You better be going somewhere, counsel. You know, all those things, you know what I mean?
I am.
All right. So succinctly, sir,
Okay.
what's going on?
So Quint takes out the spider sword,
Yeah.
and I've witnessed the rhyming tongue of the grey seers. As they say, if you wish to work magic, then do it with a flare. So let us test
that.
this
Absolutely
blade.
don't say that. It's complete bullshit. But yeah, I'll allow it. Let's go. Okay, carry on.
Flies, oh flies that brood on flesh, drawn so then by this taint of rot. So still is your quarry, a nest for your kin. So tell me a tale of those who are not. They walk, they fight, the strangest of things. Pray where are they going and where have they been? They bow to a man, unto chaos they call. They marches in battle, be our spies for it all. For death it is coming the highest of price, fresh meat for your sage advice. Tell only those that will know and will tell of dark undead that marches true. For if you call all of your kith and your kin, our tastiest cuts then they'll pilfer from you. Tell us of their siege engines. Do they threaten us here? Tell us their numbers, in the air and on the ground. Does the wizard stand at the front or the rear of their horde? Go.
You get this tiny little kind of like audience of flies that have one by one been popping up in great numbers through the dung, and at the end, as you do that, their wings just beat together like like that, and you this tiny little voice going, "That was dead good. You're amazing. Wow." It's this tiny little fly.
I have just promised them all our dead bodies as payment.
Yeah. I'm going to say that this is probably off the cuff, right?
I was going to say that was about to ask exactly the same question.
Wow, that was very
I
good.
had a rough idea of what I was going to say, but yes.
That was very good. We appreciate that, Clint. So the flies really enjoyed that. They didn't know what it was, but they enjoyed it mightily. They're all quite moved, considering they're only like mayflies. And they sort of look at you inquisitively, like they kind of don't really know what you're saying, but they enjoyed it. And they give you another beat of their wings, and they sort of buzz around you. One of them lands on your shoulder, and starts trying to like eat your flesh a little bit. They're sort of like pretty happy with you, so they're buzzing around. They don't really know what you want, though. They don't really understand half the words you said.
Okay, well, the thing is, I've just promised them the bodies of all of our dead in battle to lay their children on.
No, I understand. I understand.
So
we understand what you're saying. We understand what you're saying. They just don't understand what you're saying because it's just too. It's very eloquent, and these are flies, so they don't really have a huge amount of intelligence. So they're sort of going. Okay.
I've got to dumb it down.
Really dumb it down. Although I really appreciated the amount of effort that went into.
I'm meditating. Where Ratty is meditating across the courtyard, he hears this, opens one eye, and yells to Quinn. You want to talk like a fly? Think like a fly.
Yeah, you even. Yeah, Ratty's just literally like sort of levitating in the corner over here, just like ooh, like that around the air. All right, cool.
Okay, right. Can I have another go then?
No, just make it succinct. So basically, you'll basically make it very, very brief and very succinct as to what you want.
Cool. Okay, cool. The dead. Find them. How many? Where they're coming from, and the human among them.
The fly just looks
we
back and
wish
goes,
to know where they are.
"Oh, should have just said," and he just like buzzes up around you, and then just go get them, boys. And then all these flies just like and just buzz off into the air, and they just sort of like zoom out from your position and just like flood out into the air. They disappear from view very quickly because they're just tiny little flies, and they just sort of you feel like sort of that was great and cool, not quite how you thought it would go, but good enough. What you can do next, Quint, I think.
Okay, right. I am going to go to because I have an awful lot of these. These beetle parts, which would be very nice as a suit of armor. I would have thought.
Okay, cool.
So,
you actually see Blue walking out of what you think is the blacksmith because you were told about it. She's carrying like this cool leather harness thing, and her dog, like the dog Fleck, the war dog, is now covered in this like really old, rusty but still sturdy-looking dog armor, and they're sort of like hopping out of the blacksmith, and she's like, "Who's good boy?" And you see this like young kid, this young scrawny-looking kid, who's probably the blacksmith's assistant or something. He's walking out and just like doing like top, top, top with his hands as he waves them off and just puts his hands on his hips. You think he's blushing as well, like his face is really red as well.
Okay.
Yeah. He sort of looks around and goes, ah. He looks around, looks at you, and just like that as you start walking towards
Standard
him.
reaction, really.
Yeah, like this. Yeah, as you walk towards him. Yeah. What's up, dude?
Master Blacksmith.
Yes?
I have some items here.
Right.
I was recently in a fight with some beetles, and I do
looks
have
like
some
you
of the
lost.
thicker armor giant beetles. What?
Looks like you lost.
I think I belong here. You are the blacksmith, are you not?
Yeah, I'm the blacksmith. He's got snot coming out of his nose. He just wipes it like with the back of his hand. He goes, "Yeah, I'm the blacksmith." Like that. You don't believe it, but hey, the times are desperate, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I need your advice, Master Blacksmith. Do you have time?
Yeah, well, sort of. I mean, if it's about women, I'm not the best person, I guess. No, ask me. What does he want?
It would be about armor.
Sure. Yeah.
Marital advice from someone else.
Yeah, no armor is fine. Women not so much. All right, why don't you come into the shop? Sort of like trots in. Okay.
Why, thank you.
All right, so we're going to break out of narrative. So just tell me very quickly what it is you want to do.
Okay, I just want to know if something can be hammered or fitted together with these plates of ex-beetle into something vaguely approaching something which would cover a breastplate and both arms.
Okay.
So I know we don't have time to do an entire suit here.
Yeah, sure. So what is it specifically you want? You've got to make a choice because he's like, oh, well, yeah, this looks amazing. Well, beetle, oh, yeah, I can do something. I mean, not much because of the time and everything, but I could probably make an item for you if you want.
A breastplate would be most useful. It's where I keep all my vital beams.
Yeah, most people do that, humans and that. He just looks at you, sort of the sidelong look like. And then he just like goes, yeah, that's fine.
I open a single eye again and yell across the courtyard, "Helmet! Helmet!"
And you just close your eyes again. Really enigmatically, mysterious wizard type things. All right, cool. So yeah, you hear that. He goes, breastplate's easier probably. Yeah, it's fine. I'll just put some leather straps, make some holes. Do you want a symbol on it, like something cool, to impress the He looks at you again up and down, looks at your face, looks at your hands. To impress whomever.
I think it will be fine as is. Thank you, Master Blacksmith.
Why don't I just put a little, cool little motif-y thing on there? Look great, Maybe like, He's actually, by the way, you don't know this, but the Vagabonds would. He's actually the stable boy master as well. So he's been looking after the war penguins. So he goes, well, you're with that lot, aren't you? So what about those horses? He says, maybe I can put a symbol of that on it. That'd be kind of cool. Impress the lady.
Do what you like, Master Blacksmith. I really don't think it will turn a blade, but yeah, fine.
Right. So he goes, all right, come back in about 3 or 4 hours. I'll be done then. All right. He starts like walking away.
So I'm gonna have a penguin breastplate, am I right, yo?
No, he's not gonna make anything look like a fucking penguin. But he's gonna put a little penguin horse motif thing in the corner. Cool. Shut up, Quinn. All right. So very quickly, dude. What else is it you want to do? Because you've got like the dwarves walking around trying to do fortifications of their own making. There's villagers around that are also trying to dig ditches and things like basic kind of like let's stop an army of undead as much as we can kind of stuff. But people are sort of milling around. Okay. Not entirely know what to do.
Okay, going out of narrative, I'll ask if the dwarves are considering doing any sort of pits around the 2 gates, and then putting boards so people could exit, so we can just basically hold them there as they fall into it.
Yeah, they are doing sort of like pits here and here with those kind of like mines, and also here close to the door.
That's fair enough.
And there.
Okay,
these are the roads, which actually is a lot easier to. They don't think all the undead are going on the road, but it's just useful to have a few places. Yeah. They're going to do like another pit here as well. They're doing some basic stockade barricades inside.
around the actual building. So you've got like stockades here and there, and in front of the front doors, in front of like some of the windows as well. But it's pretty basic stuff at the moment. It's not really anything. I mean, your Storm Vermin experience, it's pretty basic stuff, and you know for a fact if this was a horde of your fellow ex-cohorts, you'd be able to run through it quite easily.
Like a hot rat through butter, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I suggest that they may want to spend a little bit of time? You can see my pointer here, can't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
On the main map, right? Okay. That they take the roof off this building, possibly that building as well. Build a bonfire here with the roof and a bonfire there with the roof.
Okay.
To deal with the was it to possibly blind the crows if we do get an air attack?
Okay.
And also it gives them a platform. Which people can then use as fire defense against the two main gates there and there.
Okay. Make a leadership
I'll
test,
suggest
buddy.
it. Of course.
Make a leadership test.
Yeah,
Plus, I'm going to give you +10 because you are a military man. You can speak like a military man even if you are escaping. So,
okay,
that's
looking
fine.
for dice, looking for dice, looking for dice.
In all the wrong
Yes.
places.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so there's a whole bunch
So
of...
much more organised than us here.
There you go.
Right. And highlight and roll.
Ooh, that's good. That's a 15.
Not too bad.
Not too bad at all. Okay,
Yep,
so you speak to one of the humans who's actually looks like he's a master builder type character, and he's liaising with the dwarves. And you don't decide not to talk to the dwarves about it, but go straight to the human. They're more susceptible to be persuaded.
Yeah, they'll smell me out as well.
Well, that's true, yeah. So you start talking to the human, you give him an idea. He goes, that's a great idea, actually. Yeah, I'll suggest it. Oh, yeah, great. And they start going to work, and then he goes up to the dwarves, and the dwarves go, I'm human. And then one of the dwarves who you don't know, obviously, but one of the dwarves stops and looks at you. Please make a initiative test. Because you're happy and you're smiling a lot, so your teeth are showing,
right.
And you're not covering yourself up as much as possible because you feel a bit safer, I guess, recently. But suddenly you've come under scrutiny, so please make a very quick lightning reflex initiative test.
Okay.
58.
That's problematic. Hang on, 58.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's 59.
You are indeed. You're lucky. Just at the last minute, you manage to swaddle yourself in your robes, in your monk's robes, and you immediately turn off, with trying to dodge casually, as it were, so away from the dwarves. But the dwarves definitely.
I'm Kenobiing this shit.
You're Kenobiing the shit out of it, basically. But the dwarves definitely watch you. You do feel them watching your back as they go. However, they don't approach you. They don't say anything. You sort of wander back into the complex. From there, but they are going to be doing that.
Monks' robes among other monks. Cool.
Yeah, so
right.
your monk's robes are becoming very handy indeed. So I'm going to put let's put let's put archers positions or something like that. So let's put an A for archers positions like that. That's A there. Okay, and then there's going to be bonfire, I guess, right? So you want to put a bonfire here.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
I'm sorry. Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just have a quick question with the archer positions. I was going to ask if there was like a bird's nest or something equivalent that I could
Yeah, sure. Let's go back to you. So I mean, as you were sort of before you were going to bed, you wandered around the complex and around the village a little bit throughout the day. You noticed that probably the easiest place to shoot from is actually from the abbey itself, from the little La Maison Tal. So over here, Blue, this white box is actually the roof of La Maison Tal. And this here is where the tree is. See that circle? That's an open skylight to where the tree sits, so that the tree can get rain and sunshine on as well. That's the main hall. This is like the body of the building. So that's where Jean-Louis' office is over here, for instance. That should be over here actually. And this is like a lodge roof, so it's quite large. And there's a couple of chimney stacks here from various, and over here as well from various rooms and things. And there's a flat roof here. So this is let's put flat roof there. And then we'll just do, these are sloped roofs going down like that and down like that. And this is a slightly curved roof. So I'll put C there for you. So it slightly curves up and down. And there's a ledge here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the flat roofs are below, they're actually below the main roof. So you can't directly walk from one to the other, but you could hop up, you can definitely climb up
from a flat roof to the top of the roof. So these are all your different
Yeah, I
areas.
do have climb and scale.
You do, yeah. So it's a question of whether skeletons can climb. So that's one thing to bear in mind. You've got 3 positions then you can shoot from that they've created. They see them creating these 2 archer positions. You could also have an archer position, kind of crow's nesty thing. These are chimneys. Put little C's in them, and you could hide behind them. However, you're going to be walking around them to hide behind them, if that makes sense. And there are sort of barricades here a little bit. They're not doing a huge amount, quite frankly. They're just sort of trying to stem the flow away from these windows across here, if that makes sense. I'll put little W's where the windows are as well. So these all ground floors. So the first floor spec, but the windows are actually on the ground floor. Okay, so I'll put them in here. I'll actually put them in here pretty better. Cool. Anything else at all that you want to do?
That's it from.
All right.
Sorry, Quint.
That's useful. That's useful info for me as well, because I'll be up there with you, I'd imagine.
Yeah, definitely. Okie dokie. So anything else that you want to know about, I guess, or anything else you want to do, Quint, before we get the show on the road?
Just a couple of, just literally 2 more things. Do the priests have any ability to create anything like holy water which might affect the dead, or is that a different game?
They do. You don't know. You think you don't know this actually, but you can find out if you wish. So you can ask around if you choose to, which I'm assuming you are. So yes, they definitely can. They definitely can make holy water. It is definitely supposed to have an effect on the undead or the unclean or the chaos or the chaotic. There is next to in the courtyard. There is actually a large font here, which actually supplies and collects rainwater, and also supplies the tree as well with water. There's a little gate that runs off and floods the base of the tree if there's ever a drought or anything like that. And this is actually all holy water. This is blessed continually. It's right in the center here as well, so it's accessible. But also it's defendable in a way that isn't defendable. It's just open, if that makes sense.
Can we get a contingent of about 2 or 3 monks making us holy water hand grenades, please?
No. Yeah, you can if you want. Please make a fellowship test to try and convince one of the monks to do so, because you're not the boss of them. Tal's the boss of them, and I'm the boss of Tal. Why am I the only person laughing about that?
My luck had to fail sometime. That's a definite fail.
What did you get?
Okay, can I interject? I'm considering I'm with Quint at this time because I said that some of my time would be spent. Can I help him with the fellowship roll?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can do that.
I failed categorically. Please do better than I did.
Okay, so my fellowship is, what the heck is it? It's 48. Oh, okay. Lord, it's 48.
Do it with a smile, question mark? 47, 43 even. That's great. Either way, it's a pass. Woo! Great, okay. So he goes, no, and walks away. And then you grab him, and so you just touch his elbow just in that way. You know what I mean? That way that's friendly, slightly intimate, like I care about who you are kind of way. And you say exactly the same thing to his face. He looks at you and goes, oui. And then just walks off as well. And you feel pretty good about yourself right now. That's great, Blue. So,
praise be the lady.
So praise be the lady. Okay. At that point, the mechanical man that's been standing over here, Dormant, just goes and then smashes into the wall, and then walks back, and Moon walks back, and then smashes into the wall again, and Moon walks back. That's the important thing. Yeah. And you see Pete walking down the corridor. He's not even in the room. He walks down the corridor, and he's just looking at the thing, going, hello. And he just looks at the Iron Man, gives it a thumbs up, and then walks back to presumably where he's kipping for the night. So you have a whole. I'm going to put some bottles. It's going to be very random how many there are. So I'm going to put these little X's down here that are handy Molotov water bottles that you can grab throughout a fight. But they're going to be random. So there may be a couple, there may be 6, so you don't know. Okay. Anything else that you're choosing to do, I guess?
Just one more thing, but it involves 2 other members of the party, and is pushing this thing along a bit. So if that's cool, I'm addressing as they are both here, and they're both good at ballistics.
Yep.
I need to talk to Blue and to Teddy, please.
Yeah.
Okay. Master Teddy, my lady. I think we might have to get this robot working properly, which means opening the chest. I have a small favor to ask of you. We work with fell magics here. Best my kind can barely control them. When we find a place to open this box and power that robot, I may possibly change. You don't stare into the pitiless black eyes of the horned rat himself without paying the price. Should I lose my mind, I need both of you to promise me you will shoot me down without hesitation with stone and arrow, as I will become more dangerous than anything within these walls. Do I have your agreement?
Who is this guy, anyway?
You got it, buddy, immediately. Okay.
So basically, I think we need to push this along. We need to get that robot working properly. But reading up on this arc is it could mutate me quite horribly whenever I use it. So we need to find a place. I need you two standing by, and depending on how bad the dice roll is, Quint may be making an exit.
Oh no, buddy!
I mean, if you route it, we can just cut it off. Like,
All right.
Or it could turn out to be evil, and you could grow like a scorpion.
There are things on this list like Warp Frenzy, man. It's not a nice list.
Oh, you look at the 1,000 list.
So you've been chatting for a while. This conversation takes place after all of you have had your rest. So I'm going to say all of you can get all of your health points back, all your magic points back that those are applicable to. You've had, because of Teddy's hearty meal and the fact that you've had a good rest, and any extra healing that you need as well from the monks, because let's face it, it's pretty much on tap. This happens, I mean, if anybody's actually looking at their kind of like proverbial clocks, you probably only got a few hours apparently before dawn. That's not even dawn, so it's the middle of the night. It's about like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and you've all been woken from your various slumbers. And the dwarves, you notice, have been singing. They haven't slept. They're pretty drunk, actually, most of them. And they've sort of like erected this like bunch of barrels and stuff around, and they sort of seem to be like fortifying a weird position, dead center in the middle of the hall. And that's where they're presumably they're drinking and going to be making a final stand of it. They're just like this, and they're using sort of barrels as kind of vague barricades and things. And there's only 5 of them left anyway. The Law Master's in the front. There's Thorin, I think, as well. They're 2 guards, and I think it's they're sort of like the Mine Master as well is still alive. But that's it. The rest of them all died. So these are the last of their tribe. They're singing a lot of different songs. Your minds go off to Bondo. If only Bondo was here, he'd be able to tell you what they were. But they sound pretty dire and doom-filled and sort of heroic and all that kind of dwarven nonsense, really. So the humans are sort of all kind of mostly are now like in rooms. A lot of the infirmed are being placed into various rooms depending on how damaged they are. Dr. Dasher is with some of the particularly injured, which is in a room that has no windows, and he's being helped by Wavy Davy, who Wavy Davy's basically said that he's going to like basically be with Dasher. So they decided that they're going to try and look after the most infirmed and hold the fort down, as it were, just in case the undead get into that room. But a lot of the other villagers and stuff are in different rooms. There's barricades against most of the windows. However, they're pretty flimsy at best. I mean, they're just literally trying to do whatever they can to protect this place. So each room essentially has villagers in it. And each room essentially has windows where skeletons can come through. Jean-Louis is going to stay in his study for the moment. However, he and some of his monks will be there to help you. It's not just you fighting alone. Everybody's going to be doing their part, just depending on where they are in the actual monastery, if that makes sense. Also, there are some archers placed on the outside of in the village itself, and they've set the traps as best they can. But anybody looking at this with more than a cursory glance realizes that this is not looking good. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not looking good at all.
Well, I've done about all I can do.
Well, when are we doing this warpstone thing then? Is that
the sooner the better, man. Whilst I still have courage for it.
While we still have the chance to learn from it as well, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if because this thing will actually pack a pretty nasty wallop anyway. So there's a last ditch weapon if you want a spider rat or a 3-headed rat thing.
You didn't ask the magic user in the party to help. Hint. Wink, wink.
The what? The who?
They've forgotten about you. Somebody forgot about you. You're basically asleep next to the stables.
I'm just the guy who who flies in a random direction.
Yeah, where's Ratty? All right.
Isn't that your magic power?
So, what are you going to do, folks? Because your time is running out now, I'm going to say.
Okay, cool. Right, we need to go to an open space where preferably the fewest numbers of people are going to get freaked out by the fact I'm going to open up the Ark of the Undead Covenant.
Okay, so where's that going to be?
And okay, I would suggest...
You don't have the Ark. Jean-Louis has the Ark. You know that, right?
Yep, okay, we'll go to him then.
Okay.
And I'm bringing Teddy along because he's got the Seer's Stone, which is needed to control it.
Okay.
Is that what that is? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool. So you sort of wander through. Are you taking the Iron Man with you? Or is the Iron Man just staying where he is?
No, I'll take it with us.
All right, it's the Iron Man sort of trundling along behind you.
As best I can.
All right, so you suddenly realise that you don't know where Ratty is. That you last you saw him, you think he was near the blacksmiths and asleep or meditating or something, but you don't know where he is.
Somewhere.
In a hedge somewhere. You walk into the office, and as you do so, Jean-Louis looks and goes, "As the plan's ready, mes amis. I think this is about as ready as we can be. Where is Ratty?" And at that moment, we're going to flash over to where Ratty is. Ratty, you're having the most brilliant dream. You've taken over the Squirrel King's kingdom, and he's in chains, and you're now administering punishment to him in the form of a very public, not execution, but very public, courtroom setting. And you're doing really well. You're very succinct. The squirrels are loving it.
What? Why am I dreaming this? Hang on. Who am I? Who am I?
You're dreaming
doing
of the
that
squirrel.
too?
You're just in a dream. You're having a dream.
Squirrel King. Hell yeah, the squirrel. So just occasionally you can just hear me mumbling while I'm. Oh yeah, the Squirrel King. All right, mate.
Yeah, the blacksmith walks past going, all right, and just carries on walking past you, like going towards thing.
You, my please.
Just at the moment you're about to sum up and give him judgment, you suddenly wake with a start. Like that, one of those ones, right? You suddenly wake up and you sort of look around. You can see, which is quite funny because you didn't really notice them erecting it, that the roofs of these two buildings have been ripped off. And there are archers standing on top of the buildings. And there's a bonfire being lit for some reason. And it seems like you've overslept. Like, you've definitely overslept. You feel like one of those groggy, tired feelings, but in a good way. But you've definitely been asleep for some time. You're also a little cold now, I guess. It's the middle of the night. But you can't quite remember what you're supposed to be doing. You think you're probably supposed to be helping the other vagabonds or something like that. So yeah, but you definitely see people wandering around. And there's also little fires and campfires being around. Most of the villagers you see out in the streets are actually hurrying to La Maison Tal. You do see some people going to barricades around the village, but they're all pretty close, within a running distance to La Maison Tal itself. At that moment, you sort of get up and stretch, and the Warpengers are secure with the coach in the stables. The stables' doors are locked, and suddenly the bonfire just goes and completely goes out, and just is like it's being extinguished. And then one by one, all the torches on the archers' positions go like that and just blow out. Yeah. So what are you going to do,
Tom? So hang on. Say that again.
Which bit? The entirety of it. So, what? Squirrel King? So you wake and you look around to see the preparations that have been made whilst you've been sleeping, and as you do so, this kind of weird ill wind blows through the village and extinguishes all of the lights outside of La Maison Tal, including the bonfire.
Yep, we're dead.
That I can get to quickly to get a view over what may be outside.
Yep, you can. You look around for the tallest building. It's actually probably going to be the blacksmithery, because it's got a very long chimney at the top of it. And it's got a long sloping roof to it. And there's a ladder as well, a very convenient ladder, so you don't need to climb it without reason. So you can dash over and just have a good climb up and see what's going on.
Okay, so I'm going to do that.
Okay, so you nip up pretty quickly. Your robes are flapping. Who knows? And unfortunately, nobody's underneath you to see whether you're wearing underpants or not, because that's still a mystery, right? So you get up to the top and you look around.
I need to remind you, I've got leather armor on underneath. I'm very bored.
You could have a little like P flap or something. You don't know. I don't know what your leather armor looks like. So okay, you flap up to the top of this, next to the chimney, and sort of hold on, and you start looking around. Do you have anything like an eyeglass, or some spell or anything like that can help you?
I don't believe I do. No, I've just.
Can't you wild made something up?
Yeah,
Can I help with my elf eyes?
You're not theirs. But Tom, yes, if you want
I know.
to, you can try and intuitively find a spell for a petty magic spell for this. If you have the XP for it, I'll allow it. Because that's how you find magic anyway.
I do have 50 XP, but I need to check the petty magic spells, which is going to take a minute.
No, you don't, because we've talked about this off game. We agreed that as long as it's not OP'd, I'm prepared, quite happy to find spells with you. So I'm going to say that you can do like a kind of night vision-y, long distance-y spell.
Not night vision anyway. Not night vision rural, but could it be like binocular vision?
Yeah.
But
there's a weird side effect. Your eyes literally bulge out of the sockets and elongate into binoculars. Which if you're
Looney Tunes.
they do Looney Tunes. They pop out of the like that. And if anybody sees that, like a witch hunter or soldier, they're going to brand you as a mutant. So just bear that in mind. But you can do it as long as nobody's watching. You can do the spell.
Is he literally doing Brave Star Eyes of the Eagle?
Sort of. It's kind of like Brave Star.
Cool.
His Brave Star's eyes don't come out of his skull.
No, it's more like Looney Tunes. It's more like Looney Tunes, like that, one of those ones, okay? But I will tell you, if anybody doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about, I'm going to draw it on the side here. That's his face. These are now his eyes. Well, this looks really... I'm going to put some...
Just gives me the vision. Why do my eyes have to pop out of my skull? I'm not happy about that at all.
So yeah, that's gonna. Well, if you want the spell, in a nice way, that's what's gonna happen. Like that. That's what it looks like. Do you want it? I'll give it to you. If you accept my terms.
I don't want that at all.
Oh, come on, Tom.
The monkey paw curls.
Come on, you got used to the chicken. You got used to the
chicken. Yeah, you can get used to anything once you got the zombie chicken on your head. Tom.
Is over. No, I'm pushing towards respectability here.
All right. Sport. I was going to call it Jeepers Peepers.
I really like that. Is there a way to point without my eyes coming out of my head, please?
Okay, they don't come out of your head. They just go incredibly big, like massive eyes, like that. How about that? Like real cartoony eyes, like cute eyes. Like, okay, let's get rid of this thing that looks vaguely like a penis. So get rid of that.
Anime eyes.
And they go anime.
Goes manga.
They go anime eyes like this. Like that. That's what you get. Anime eyes. That's my final offer, Tom.
Okay, there is a petty spell called Sharp Eyes.
Oh, fuck you, Pete.
Just found it.
God damn it, Pete. I was this close to selling the cartoon eyes. Fine. All right. So, yes, Tom,
you
can
find
find
that version of it. It's just the way it works for him.
Fine. I bring it back then. It's sharp eyes, but your eyes do this. And become incredibly cute, massive, big manga eyes for the time duration of the spell. Yeah, like that. That's what happens. You up for it? Come on, Tom. Move the game along.
I don't know what book that's in, though.
Does Sharp Eyes turn my eyes into googly eyes? Is that one of the effects? I'm going to say Sharp Eyes, thank you.
Say yes, Pete.
There is no apocrypha to go with it, unfortunately.
Then that's a yes. I'm playing my GM card. That's a solid yes from me. It's a solid yes. All right, so you found Sharp Eyes. Which allows you to look. I'm presuming. Do you have the actual rule set for that, Pete? Very quickly.
It basically says it gives you an initiative bonus for all observation tests.
Fine. I'm also going to add, because I'm such a nice person, because you're accepting the googly eye cartoon thing, that it also allows you to see extreme range as if it was like a bow shot. So that's a good half a mile. So you can see it detail at half a mile.
How many XP does that cost?
It costs. I'm going to say 2 magic points.
There's 3 magic points.
Is it 3? Okay.
The eyes of a hawk. Yes.
Well,
the
let's.
ingredients.
I'm going to say the ingredients for the first one is free, and you can get the eyes of any bird. I'm going to say because I don't like the ingredient stuff from Warhammer sometimes.
Eyes of a pigeon.
You can get the eyes of a pigeon, eyes of any bird you can get. So the first one, basically the way this works with Tom is that we've usually run this in the old game anyway, that Tom, the first time he finds a spell, it happens by accident, and then the ingredient is the conduit for him to be able to find it again. So he has to sort of like figure it out, and then he goes, oh, well, if I use the eyes of birds, it'll help me get that feeling back. So that's why we use ingredients for Tom's hedge wizardry. It's kind of like a sorcerer. Really.
You know what? I don't know if I can afford to burn 3 magic points on this. Dude,
Yeah.
I'm being serious. There's a battle about to happen.
Yeah.
I only have 8 magic points. That's nearly half the magic point on one spell.
Another fact, we've taken 15 minutes, and basically all it means is you just run up a chimney and just stood there looking out going, nope, can't see shit. Can't see a single thing. Nothing to see. That was a stupid idea. Only go back to the Vagabonds now. Fucking hell.
I can't burn 3 magic points on this. I thought petty magic all cost like 1 or 2, but this is
quite a lot
I'm
of
serious.
time. All right.
I'm constantly in this game scuppered by the fact that I don't have any magic points because they all cost 3. Every spell I have costs 3, and I've got 8 in
Fair
my
enough.
I thought
total.
you went up a wizard level. How come you've only got 8 still?
Because he's a hedge wizard.
Because I rolled badly and I didn't get many added when I went up a level.
Hedge wizards aren't trained. They're basically intuitive, which means they don't sort of channel their wizardry ability in the same way that a trained wizard would. So they're not as powerful, but they can learn any spell from any class, which is pretty cool.
Right.
So it's a trade-off, really. Okay, Tom. So basically, you sort of struggle and try and find. You don't see anything out there.
Burning torches of the evil army that's all I was looking for, really.
Okay, so you can't see any lights. Make an initiative test to try and see something in the glooming darkness. Whether you see anything or not, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay, all right, hang on. Need to pick some dice.
Straight initiative roll. 46 is a failure, I believe. You got 36 initiative. Okay.
Wait a minute. Luck, it's a hit.
Oh, fuck you with luck.
With luck.
Fuck you with luck.
I've not used luck at all.
You have not
recently,
used
so...
luck, and neither has anybody else got luck? Because that's really annoying. And that's your luck.
I think it was Bondo who had it, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
Bondo
yeah.
did.
That's just Bondo. Okay, fine.
There was also the boost from the Teddy special.
Yes, exactly. +5 from...
+5, that's right, +5 on any stats. Okay, instantly hate you giving that. Okay, so that's fine. So, yeah, your luck holds, and you manage to... Actually, you do manage to glean something. Just as you're about to turn away thinking you can't see shit, you actually stop, and then you spy something, and it kind of looks like shadows moving. And then you sort of glean it, you sort of stare really hard and intently at it, and really for one of the first few times in your life, you focus. And then you suddenly realize that you're not staring at a single thing. You're staring at something that looks like a rolling wave, and it's coming from both. And you sort of turn around so you can find the similar kind of thing, and you realise with great horror that the attack seems to be underway. And actually, as opposed to being like maybe a small warband, which is the things that you've been facing before, there are hundreds of these skeletons that are sort of rushing in silence with no light source, because why would they need it? Down the hills and through the forests, and they are completely surrounding the entire palisade, and they are going to be coming in from every single angle, including those angles that the villagers haven't had time to prepare. So I'm just going to sort of represent that a little bit by just doing this. They are literally all around the encampment, and they are charging in unison as one towards the gates, towards the walls, coming down the hills, even towards the river, even down the river, seeing like jumping into the river from the upstream position, and they're now descending in quick silence. In a matter of minutes, they will be upon you. What are you going to do? Or at least they'll be upon the village.
So I turn around. Is anyone aware of, like, can I signal by shouting? Like,
yeah, you can do. Yeah, you absolutely can do. Yeah.
So I turn around, and for the first time in maybe the longest time, the smile has gone from Ratigan's face. and instead there is a look of absolute fear. And I tried to shout, and it just comes out as a quiet phrase. That they're everywhere, and then suddenly that fear takes over and turns into an absolute shout of absolute horror. They're everywhere,
Okay,
and they're coming right now.
cool. And you scream that out. We're going to flash over to the other vagabonds. Vagabond Jean-Louis has just started he's literally just started his conversation. He's turned to the window and is about to shut it because he's been letting fresh air in. He's about to shut it when you just hear this voice be carried across the wind, and you hear this, "They're everywhere, they're coming," like that from Ratty's clear voice coming through. Even at this distance, you hear it quite calmly and clearly. Jean-Louis looks towards of you and says, "My friends, it is happening. There is no tomorrow. The attack is starting now." And with that, you hear through the other adjacent room into the hallway this of smashing against the gate that you locked to the crypt, and people start screaming inside the abbey. And people start screaming in horror. The dwarves are now singing loudly, and you realise that the undead are not only coming from the outside, seemingly, but also from within the crypt.
I thought we dealt with that.
At that point,
I really hope
folks,
that holds.
at that point, folks, I think it's actually a good place to stop because the attack has started now. Unless there's anything else you want to do, folks, but I think this is.
We're not doing the arc thing.
I would like to know if I'm still alive, or we could do that next time.
Yeah, you know what? Well, why don't we try that? We've got 10 minutes left or so. So why don't we do that? Yeah, why
Don't
don't
tickle your fancy.
Jean-Louis rushes with the Arca Chaotica, comes to the sort of this office room, sets it down, closes the front doors to this office, turns and goes, "Mes amis, we do not have time. We must activate it now." Like that. Maintenant.
Right.
And he sort of steps to the side and places the box here, facing this direction. Yeah.
It'll just have to do.
Okay.
So that's pointing towards the place where all the skeletons are.
This is pointing to the door here. He's just closed, but also, yeah, that's
It'll have to
basically
do.
it.
It'll have to do.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right. Master Teddy, the Seer's Stone, if you please.
What, this thing?
I need it to open the box.
Rather you than me, son. There you go.
Right. Okay. I take the ring, put it on. Maneuver the armor in front of the box or in front of the door if it's not there already.
Yeah.
And we're gonna open it.
Okay, he's motherfucker. All right, so you stand there. Are you gonna say anything to anybody? Because like you're right next to the box. These two are sort of like into the other room, as is
As far away, yeah.
Jean-Louis, as is the dog, as is Blue. Blue and Teddy, are you gonna say anything, man? What's going on, folks?
No, I'm just preparing the sling in case.
Okay.
I
Cool.
turn to something nasty.
Okay, cool.
I
Blue?
just have my arrow knocked, just in case.
That's well. Okay, cool. So, Clint, you sort of like stand there and you sort of like you're getting very sweaty. Can you make a cool test, please?
Okay.
What's your cool again?
It's nothing. It's
Yeah.
literally nothing.
That's fine. Roll it.
Okay.
What stats do you have, Clint?
30. Is that a fail?
Okay, my cool is 2 seconds here. Cool is 24, even with Teddy's special, it's 29. I missed it by 1 point.
Okay, you sort of like try and be a brave little Skaven. You try and hold it together. Be brave. Skaven brave. And right at the last minute, you just let this tiny little squeak of the Musk of Fear just goes like that. And then it just all hell breaks like that. And you just squirt the Musk of Fear. Luckily, it's not entering the other rooms yet, but it's just sort of like around you, like this little cloud, this little, tiny little Musk of Fear cloud. And anybody that comes
We had
into
like
that cloud.
a cliffhanger there, and now we're just having Clem farting.
I know. Well, listen, I gave you the cliffhanger, but you wanted to press on. I can't argue with that. So now you got farting. That's the way it goes. All right. So with a little Musk of Fear, which doesn't make you much reassured, what are you going to do, Clem?
I'm going to point with the ring at the metal man.
Yeah.
Unleash the power of the horned rat upon this creature, and may it live!
Okay. As you do that, you open the casket, I'm assuming, right? You open the casket,
Yes.
and this green bolt of light, these sickly bolts of light, lash out towards the Iron Man, striking it with an ear-splitting crash. The windows pop out with the glass. Flickers of green lighting play around the Iron Man for a moment, and then it lumbers towards, it stops, lumbers towards, stops, lumbers again, and then lumbers again towards where Teddy is. It pushes the box out the way, and also pushes like the Skaven, who's been sort of knocked to the side a little bit, and just stands in front of Teddy, and just goes, "In the orders, master," like that, and just like looks at Teddy.
In the what?
Is it a stoned hippie from San Francisco?
Yeah, I just come up with a voice last minute. Like,
You've got
you've
got a metal shaggy.
Okay, hang on a sec. Give me orders, master. Like that. Okay, go
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, that's good.
Stop them skeletons.
He goes, "Stop them skeletons!" Just like starts like walk over and jum 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 jum. And he just walks through the door. "Stop them skeletons!" And he starts walking towards the grate. Cool. At that point, you sort of all step through, and you realise that Quint is on the ground, and he's sort of been blasted back. The casket is shut. He's been blasted back against the wall of the library, this little office library. Jean-Louis sort of comes through. Fleck is like here growling a little bit. Blue, you also through you come through instinctively as well to see him. And all of you
Shoot him now, Del.
you're just standing around.
Kill man things, kill.
And at that, Quint turns around. His eyes have gone bloodshot red, and his sort of whiskers that come out of his nose, and he's just staring at you with drool. His arms like come up to his weapons. He's pulled his weapons. He's just staring straight at you. As you sort of are stunned and don't know quite what to do necessarily at the moment, because he's not moving either, you just hear this ear-splitting crash as the Iron Man has ripped off the crypt door and is now seemingly engaged in combat with the skeletons that are coming flooding from the crypt. And at that point, motherfuckers...
It's a Vagabond special!
It's a Vagabond special. I'm definitely going to call it here, folks, because that's a bit of a fucking cliche. That's a good one to end up, I think. That's a good cliffhanger to end up on.
Yay.
I like it. I
Yeah,
mean, you know,
it's all right. It wasn't quite what we planned.
I think
Okay,
I think
folks.
I will.
Quite meaning to let them in, but hey.
Well, you should have thought about what the fuck you're talking about then, dude.
No, this is Teddy's way, right?
Yeah, this is also the best way I can take fate points from you, so, you know, I'm happy. On that note, sorry about the ragtag nature of this, folks. This is the start, obviously, of the big battle, but obviously there's a lot of prep work that we need to do to make sure this thing goes off without a hitch. It's been 89 years.
I thought that was really a good episode.
Yeah,
I really liked it.
Yeah, you liked it? All right, cool.
Yeah.
I liked it. I had fun.
Good, folks.
I
Well, that's the main
enjoyed
thing. All right, well, listen,
I'm
thank you.
just smiling from ear to ear.
Thank you, everybody that turned up to watch the episode. Was it 38, I said, or 36? 36. We're going to be back in a few weeks' time, and I think our schedule's getting a bit more aligned, so that should be okay. And hopefully the culmination of this entire campaign will happen next time. I make no promises. But stay tuned and please tune in, and thank you for your support as well. Thanks very much to the Vagabonds, as always.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for DMing.
Yeah.
And thank
Yay.
you very much to our mods as well, and thank you lastly to the chat for hanging out and just being cool. All right, and also, whose turn is it to flip the table? I'm not entirely sure.
Oh,
Neil,
I've
do you
done
want
it
to
in ages.
plans for the week?
Sorry?
Things that are happening this week.
Oh yeah, sure.
Things that are happening this week.
Well,
Flip the table and get out of it.
very quickly. Tuesday we've got a stream. Thursday is now a stream with Joseph Bandalama, who is going to be.
Tuesday.
It's now Thursday,
Is it?
so I just got a message from him. He can only do Thursday. He's got work,
Oh, okay.
so he's got a conflict.
All right.
So Thursday's when we're going to do that. He's the main actor from one of the main actors. Sorry, there's two of them from It Takes Two, which is an amazing game. And we're going to be talking about his work and his experience and how he got into mocap and what his point of view on it. And that's going to be on Thursday, so please join us for that. Tuesday will now probably be like a Nilheim Back for Blood, something like, I don't know. We haven't quite worked out which game we're going to play. We're going to be playing something.
Focus.
Yeah. All right, folks.
Get back to Vermintide at some point.
Yeah, I know, dude. I know. I guess you know what? I'm gonna flip the fucking table because I think I worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked
Yeah.
today. That was a hard
100%.
work. All right, nice one, folks. Thanks everybody. Take it easy. Stay well. Stay safe, and we'll see you around the table next time. Bye.
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 It's beautiful.
It's all gone.
Bye, folks.
Oblivion.